Okay, it's time to get some color on this stuff. I got my little bottle of leather dye and my little clamp here, just so I don't knock it over. Because when you do that, boy, that makes a mess. And the wife ain't none too happy about that neither.
Yeah, don't demonstrate.
Let's see, yeah, that'll do. So, I'm going to go ahead and use my little dauber, I got some paper towels handy. These are just old used paper towels that I've used for other things, you know, like finishes or, you know, other stuff. And I can use them to wipe up messes if I make a mess. So anyway, we're going to be using saddle tan. And I got a lot of different bits here to go ahead and get some dye on. But as usual, I'll start on the inside and just soak it with the dye. I like to use lots and lots. Now on stuff like this is the belt loop, I'll go ahead and do the entire back side and the front side. But something like this, which is like the inside of the knife sheath, this piece here, I don't have to dye the whole thing, just basically the part that you'll be able to see from the outside. I can, but it's not necessary, and it really doesn't make a difference. Now if I do a holster, like, let me grab one here. Oh, let's do this one. Like this one here, you can see, I'm going to be careful here, I don't want to get brown dye on it. You can see all the way down to the inside of it. So yeah, I'll dye it all the way inside. But for something like a knife sheath, you really can't see down inside of it. But you can see part ways in, so that's the part I'm going to go ahead and get some dye on. And this is the hold down strap, I guess you might call it. And on that, both sides are visible. And also, I'm going to do more finish work on it once I get it all put together. There we go. Also, the same thing with the piece that I made for the front that's all stamped. Down just a little ways. Lots of dye on there. On the welt also, I'm only going to dye this upper area. Because after this is all glued together, you won't be able to get to that. But I'm going to trim the ends and the outside and then dye those later. Touch them up later. This is a little front piece. Get the inside of that. Well, I actually don't have to get the inside of that at all. Just do the outside. And in fact, once I get all the insides done, I'm going to go ahead, flip them over, and dye the outsides. And again, I'm going to do this edge here, because that's going to be a finished edge. Whoopsie. Before I put that on the front piece. Then I go ahead and flip these all over and do the front sides of them. Doesn't take long to do this. Basically, you just want to slap the dye on. There's people that say there's specific ways you want to do it in little circles and come back and do it in lines. I agree with that. If you find a way of doing it that works for you, that's groovy. What you don't want are streaks. And I've found that using the Phoebe's professional oil dye, that as long as I use lots of dye and saturate the leather, I generally don't get streaks. When I say saturate, I mean I keep putting the dye on the leather until it pulls on top, which tells me that that's as much dye as the leather can take. I do that with black too. If y'all have watched my other videos and watched me dye leather black. And flip this one over. The hardest part is leaving it alone. As it dries, it'll look splotchy. It'll look awful. And no matter how tempted I am to touch it up, I don't do it. Because I know once it's dry, it'll all even out. Make sure I got the edge all the way down. Yep. Like I said, this piece is going to need to be completely done, completely finished, before it's put on the back side of the sheath. Now this area, I don't have to worry about that so much because this is going to be covered with this piece. Basically, just soak a dauber and then soak the leather. I don't know. I kind of like the smell of leather dye. I like the smell of leather. I like doing this. Has smells and aromas that I enjoy. There's not much about leather work that I don't like. Get this part up here. I'm not going to worry about doing these edges because again, that's going to get sanded and the edges are going to get touched up. Just put a little bit more on the front here. One last check. I got both sides on this one. No, as far up as I'm going to go. Both sides on this one. Don't have to do the back side on that one, but I got the front side, and I got what I want dyed on the inside of that one. And that's pretty much it. Now what I'll do as this dries, I'll keep moving it around a little bit so it don't stick to the paper. Another thing I do is I put down a piece of glass, but I don't think it's big enough for all these pieces, but let's try it out. Okay. This. That'll work. And I'll just leave it on this piece of glass to dry. It won't stick to it. And when that's dry, I can start assembling this. And we'll see y'all next time.